Hello guys, Bob Smitty here. I just got back from seeing Independence Day 2, or Independence Day Resurgence, and I gotta say straight off, not as good as the first one. I saw the first Independence Day when I was a kid. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old at the time. Can't remember exactly. And I had fun. I had a blast. I loved Independence Day. I know the nostalgia critic knocks the first one, but that's just him, I guess. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I like the fun factor of these movies. And Independence Day Resurgence, like I said, it's not as good as the first one. It's a fun movie, though. If you're looking for a classic blockbuster movie, a lot of excitement, you'll like this movie. If you're a critic and you like to dive into things and look for intelligence, it's a fun movie. You know, you have movies that are, for the intellectual person. Then you have movies that are just popcorn, aka movies for, I hate to say this, kind of, simple-minded people. I'm not trying to bash anyone. But yeah, the visual effects are pretty good. I'm not that much of a visual effects aficionado. I mean, I gotta say, the aliens, they're not that threatening looking. Like in the first one, I think it was like actual puppetry and everything. Like they actually had animatronics and stuff like that, and they used the visual effects for like the ships. But yeah, I mean, the CG is used way too much. I know a lot of other people say this too, but they rely on computer-generated stuff so much that the audience, they look at it and they say, it's CG. But if they use like actual animatronics, like build giant animatronics, like 20 feet tall, and use that and film it in a certain way with a green screen behind it maybe, that could work. But a lot of people in Hollywood don't want to do that now. They want to rely on CGI, and I mean, people may be dumb that go to the theaters, a lot of people, I hate to say, but they can tell when something's real and something's fake. If you had an animatronic, like they did a lot of that stuff in the 80s, it would look good. You would see actual instead of computer. Ooh, yeah. I mean, it bums me out. Another problem this film has. Okay, now let me explain. The director, Roland Emmerich, who also did the first Independence Day, he also did, I think he did Godzilla, the American Godzilla in 1998, and he did the movie 2012, which is another disaster movie. He likes to include so many characters, like a ridiculous number of characters. He likes to deal with actors from all over the globe, Indian actors, Asian actors, American ones, of course, British. I mean, he goes... That's kind of a good thing about him. He likes to include people from like all over the world in his movies, which is a cool thing. I respect that. But the problem with that is there's so many characters. And that's another thing this film suffers from. There's just so many characters. And they each have their own like little plot lines and stuff. But it doesn't... It's only a 2-hour runtime. The first Independence Day movie was like 2.5 hours. You had more time to explore the characters. But still, even the first movie had problems with so many characters. This one does too, but it's a shorter runtime. This is a 2-hour, like strictly at 2 hours, not 2.5 like the first one. So you don't have a lot of time to get to know the characters. I mean, you get like little bits of dialogue. Hollywood writers, they like to cram everything in the dialogue, in a couple sentences, their life story, backstory, whatever. And I want to know these characters, I mean, it has the president from the first Independence Day movie. President, I'm bad with names. What was his name? President Whitmore. Yeah, President Whitmore. He flew a jet in, I think an F-16 jet in the first Independence Day, leading the attack on the alien ship. But yeah, he's in here. His daughter's grown up, and she is in love with this guy who was a famous actor. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, famous people, yeah. So there's another attack scene similar to the one in the first movie. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that totally references back to the first movie, which is cool, but it's one of those things where it's reminding you of how great the first movie was and how this is just a sequel. A sequel has to be different, it has to stand on its own two legs, but there's so much stuff crammed into 2 hours, and I mean the pacing's pretty good. The pacing, it goes right along. It's great. but there's just so much stuff in this movie. And I'm one of those people who wouldn't mind sitting through a 3-hour movie. The problem is, people that go to movie theaters, they don't want 3-hour movies anymore, because it's just like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, you know? Why can't they bring back intermissions like they did back in the epic movies of the 50s and 60s? Just at an hour and a half mark, have like a 20-minute intermission where they play awesome orchestral music, and then people come back to theater and watch the rest of the film, you know, the other hour and a half. They don't do that anymore, sadly. So I would be fine with it. I mean, we need to take a vote. We need to see if American people or people, you know, in foreign countries, you want to have an intermission for long movies. That would be great. Give you time to go to the bathroom, come back, you won't miss the story. Yeah, I mean, I went into this movie thinking, yeah, it's not going to be as good as the first. I was a little pleasantly surprised. It was pretty good. Like I said, not as good as the first, but it had its moments. Dr. Oaken, who is Brent Spiner, the guy who played Data from Star Trek, he's back. He wakes up from a coma. He was like asleep for pretty much 20 years, since 1996. The first thing, what happens when he wakes up, he says, "Did we win?" And he's talking about the first movie. But yeah, it's always great to see Brent Spiner in a role. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, they kill off Will Smith's character. And if I remember correctly about the story, when they talked about making this new Independence Day movie, they invited Will Smith. They said, "Hey, we want you back to play your role," blah, blah, blah. And he asked for like an ungodly amount of money to reprise his role as Captain, there I go, bad with names again. Captain Hiller, that's right, Captain Hiller. His son, well, not his real life actor's son, but they hired another actor for that. So his son is in this movie taking over kind of his role, you know, filling in his shoes, I guess. The movie explains he died from a test flight, so they just kind of killed him off. Have a nice painting of him in the White House, though. But yeah, Will Smith asked for like a ridiculous amount of money, and the producers were like, "Nah, no. I might not have the facts exactly right now. I'm recording this at midnight, so I'm a little out of it. But I'm really hyped up on sugar, which is okay. I can do this without being, you know, drowsy. I might be up for a few hours, too." So yeah, overall fun movie. I actually liked it. It was a good movie to kill a few hours, you know. Not 4 stars, obviously. But I think guys should go see it. I mean, if you're looking for an intellectual blockbuster like Inception, it may be a long time before something like that comes around. But overall, this is a fun movie, so I think I recommend it to you guys if you're looking for some fun. Oh, there is one thing I really liked about this movie. Something they didn't reveal in the trailers, and it was smart to do that. I'm not going to spoil it. But there is, I wouldn't call it a twist. It's like something that if they had explored more, it would have made this a better movie. But, like I said, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's something, when you see it, you'll realize, oh yeah, it could have been a better movie if they did more of this. But it's a 2-hour movie, it's very fast-paced, things happen very quickly, so they didn't get to explore that plot line too much. So yeah, that is my review for Independence Day 2 Resurgence. You know, I still can't do an outro. I gotta work on this thing. I know I'm trying to put out more movie reviews, but sometimes I get back from the movies and I'm like, you know, I want to do more reviews, but I come home and I get lazy. I'm just like, I don't want to do a review. I want to play some games, you know. I know I should do more, but I want to play games. You know how that is, right? You guys are gamers, right? You know, you want to go out and you want to... Well, I'm more of a PC guy. But I'm just rambling again, aren't I? Yeah. Okay, Independence Day 2 Resurgence. At some point this video is going to end, I just don't know when. How about now?